Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Are people purchasing XRP specifically to protest the SEC? Because look, the price of XRP has just been insane the last several days. It has been blasting higher and higher to levels that at least Bitcoin Maxi Troll said was impossible. But here we are. And to me, it was never impossible. I've had strong conviction this whole time, which simply has led me to hold XRP since November of 2017. Never sold a single XRP, and my vote is that XRP will ultimately, at some point in the future, hit its all-time high and then travel onward into a whole new realm of price discovery. We'll have to see where it goes from there. And that's what I suspect is going to happen. No way to know for sure, and fine if I'm wrong, I lose everything, but I just don't think that's going to be the case. But do you think that the reason XRP's been rocketing up in price over the last several days or so in particular is just explicitly because people want to stick it to the SEC? I'm not convinced that. It'll be a fun topic of conversation. And there's more to the story here, but this all stems from the Daily Hodl. Here's their piece titled, Crypto Trader Ben Armstrong is buying XRP, here's why. And part of what he's saying is because it's a Wall Street bets type of situation where you just want to kind of like stick it to the man. Not really sold on that idea, but I do love diversity of thought, and it's an interesting topic of conversation. And then there was this also. Mike Novogratz says XRP rally indicates that settlement could be coming soon. But that sounds positive. But I do want to be clear at the outset, I do not have a legal or financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and so you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who makes YouTube videos as a fun hobby about Ripple and XRP and crypto, and that's all that's going on here, damn it. Into this first piece now. Cryptocurrency analyst and influencer Ben Armstrong reveals that he's finally jumping on the XRP bandwagon. And let me be clear here too. So I've barely seen, I've watched 2 videos from this guy ever, but he has the biggest cryptocurrency channel on the planet. And I'm not saying that just to be hyperbolic. I mean that literally. He has the largest cryptocurrency channel, period. And he's been, up until now, very anti-XRP. He had said some stuff that was rude to one of the analysts that I follow, Credible Crypto. He was calling him out, saying that Credible Crypto was delusional about his expectations for XRP price action. But then he saw it rally, and Ben Armstrong has changed his mind on that. And to his credit, he even apologized publicly for what he had previously said to Credible Crypto and calling him delusional, this and that, and Credible Crypto accepted that. So I like seeing that. They're all adults there. So this is not me bitching about Ben Armstrong here. I'm actually saying to his credit, that's how he behaved as an adult. It was nice to see that, frankly. I'm just catching people up to speed on what's going on here. But it was surprising to see, because it's not every day that you see somebody that so vehemently is against Ripple and XRP, especially when they don't well, let me say it like this. The people that are against Ripple and XRP, by and large, especially if they're Bitcoin Maxi types, it's more so an ideological bend rather than something that's grounded in like some sort of factual basis and reality and analytical thinking. That's usually not what it's about. And so to see somebody that didn't really know a whole lot about XRP but still had strong opinions change their mind and look into it a little bit more, that's good. I think when people behave like that, it certainly should be noted, and it's to their credit here. But I still think he's getting some stuff wrong in his analysis here. And so check this out. In a new video, Armstrong tells his 780,000 YouTube subscribers that he believes XRP is becoming a beacon that retail traders could use to rally against the establishment. And here's a quote. If we look back at what happened with Wall Street bets and Dogecoin, it was a financial protest. And for the sake of this video, by the way, let me pause. For the sake of the video, I'm going to assume that you both know what that's, that you all know what that's about. Wall Street bets and what happened with Dogecoin just rocking up in price action in the last few months. If you don't, just Google Wall Street bets and you can figure that out and come back to this video. But I'm assuming most of you understand that at this point. So let me continue with this quote now. What we're seeing right now with XRP in all reality is a protest of the SEC, and it is a protest of the status quo. And so here's the thing. So what is indicating to him that that is the case is that the price went up. That's it. Right? Isn't that effectively it? I mean, you can look at what's happened with developments if you want to say that. So there's been positive developments surrounding the case, but just because we've seen some positive developments around the case, that doesn't mean that's what led the price action. This is something that I've been saying a good bit in some of my recent videos to try and drive this point home. Look, this is getting overcomplicated. It's not fundamental stuff that drives the price action of XRP the vast majority of the time. It is simply the case that Bitcoin leads the market, and it's purely speculative in nature. And then all the altcoins, including XRP, in a general sense, follow the price action of Bitcoin. That's it. And so there have been negative and positive developments in the news consistently since the SEC officially went after Ripple on December 22nd of 2020. Pretty much on a daily basis. There's been positive news, there's been negative news. And most of that time, XRP was just trading sideways. But on the days where you did see notable upward or downward price action, whatever is the news of the day, that is attributed to the reason for the price moving. But that is not the case. That is not what's happening, because it's similar types of news all along the way. So why sometimes, not others? Well, I can tell you why. It seems pretty damn clear to me. It's about technical analysis. And so what I've been tracking is not just the news, but I've been tracking opinions from all sorts of chart analysts. And these chart analysts, and I share it on this channel, so if you've been listening to me for a while, this is not going to surprise you, I hope. But these chart analysts, they've been able to say with a high level of probability the direction that they think the market's going to go most of the time. And when there's been a number of times lately over the last half a year in particular where these analysts, they all on their own, they come to roughly the same conclusion, and it's because they're reading the charts and coming to very similar conclusions about directionally what is probable. And so then that comes to pass. And by the way, it's all in the charts. They're coming to these conclusions not based on the news. It's all in the charts. And then that comes to pass because that's what the charts indicated was likely going to happen. And then something happened to have been going on in the news, positive sounding about the SEC. And then that's the reason why, allegedly, which I don't buy. And then you get Ben Armstrong here. And nothing against him personally. I'm just sharing with you that I don't agree with his opinion. Maybe he wouldn't agree with mine. That's clearly not. And that's fine. I like diversity of thought. Not a big deal. But so then you get all of that, the positive news about the SEC. And then he says that this is, the little guy purchasing XRP to stick it to the SEC. I don't buy that. I mean, you can make that argument with GameStop, or at least maybe that's how it started. But even that doesn't look. Even with the GameStop stuff, understand like they just figured out that they could take advantage of a flawed system in terms of shorting, especially with the communication that's now available with the internet. And it was just like this aha moment, and it all came together. And so the narrative of sticking it to the man, okay, fine. Maybe that's a part of it and part of why it's stuck. But really, people were just opportunistic and saw that this is a thing. And so when people are purchasing XRP, is it the case that the vast majority of the people the world over that have been purchasing and pushing the price up over these last several days, it's because they're thinking specifically, oh yeah, the reason I'm buying it, it's not even necessarily about the profits, it's to stick it to the man, stick it to the SEC. Do we really think that this is the logical thought process humans are going through? I think that people are just FOMOing in, and then they'll panic sell too when the price goes down. I think that's it. I think that this is getting overly complicated here. I don't think there's any evidence whatsoever that this is the mindset of the people, but you've got an article that's based on comments from the most popular crypto YouTuber literally on the planet about XRP, and I pretty strongly disagree. Again, it's fine. I like diversity of thought, but it is fun to talk about, and I like critically thinking through all this stuff. So if you guys think that I'm wrong about that, or maybe I'm missing something, I'm always willing to be persuaded, but to me, this is not a compelling case. But anyway, the piece continues. In December last year, the SEC officially filed a lawsuit against the San Francisco-based startup alleging that XRP was an unregistered security upon its launch and remains a security to this day. Ripple's legal battle with the SEC has intensified over the last few weeks, but now Armstrong says that the payment startup is starting to gain the upper hand. And here's a quote from Ben. I think I'm starting to see a path for victory for Ripple. Now, the Ripple law team has been given access to see some internal memos of what the SEC has been saying about XRP for years. I think this is really big because ultimately we could see Ripple win. What we're seeing is the judge over this lawsuit. She is not putting up with any BS from the SEC. I think that's massively huge. So let me pause right there. I tend to agree with the vast majority of what he stated there. This is all important. I also agree that the judge, both judges in this case, so Judge Netburn and Judge Torres, it's certainly clear that they're not putting up with crap from anybody, and I like that. It's clear to me that they're informed, they know what they're talking about, and they're seeing through the nonsense arguments that the SEC has made up until this point. And man, they're putting out. Did they really think some of the stuff they're putting out was going to go over the head of these judges, and they're just going to get away with it? Or are they just like, what happened here? Because it's been such a train wreck for the SEC to this point. So we'll see. Now, look, the case hasn't even started yet, and if it's going to move forward if there's going to be no settlement, it probably wouldn't occur until probably October. So there's a lot that can happen along the way. And although I think all of this is important, if you've been following my channel, then I think that all of this is important. To some degree, it's starting to feel like it's overblown. I'm getting the sense, in just following people on social media, that because there's been some wins here in this pre-trial phase, that people are just thinking that means Ripple's going to win. These things are great wins, but that doesn't, these instances in and of themselves, it doesn't mean that that's going to be the outcome. Now, I do think the outcome is going to be favorable for Ripple. I'm more so critiquing the logical thought process that people are going through here, and my brain works a little bit differently. I don't see these individual things and think that somehow that magically equates to victory. I think that this is something that's good for Ripple, and the likelihood of Ripple getting a favorable outcome increases. So maybe it's more so like a question of to what degree is this functionally helping. And some people think it's substantially more helpful than I think it is. I think it's helpful, but some people just think it's like the end-all be-all. But anyway, here's the rest of the quote from Ben. The SEC has come out and said, "Excuse us, Ripple is the one on trial, not us." But that is not what we're seeing right now. In reality, the SEC is on trial here. It is on them as the burden of proof to show that Ripple did something wrong. And that part I certainly do agree with it. So now let's jump into the next piece. I do want to give a shout out to XRP Crypto Wolf for sending this my way. It's the one from you today. Mike Novogratz says, XRP rally indicates that settlement could be coming soon. And it highlights a tweet. I'm just going to jump straight into the tweet. And I actually kind of briefly mentioned this in a video the other day, but I didn't share my opinion. So let me break this down here. Here's what Billionaire Mike Novogratz said. He runs Galaxy Digital, which is one of the largest cryptocurrency hedge funds on the planet. And he tweeted out the following the other day. Ripple equity is trading in secondary markets at $2 to $3 billion valuation. So just to be clear that we're on the same page right there. When he's talking about Ripple equity, he's talking about ownership in Ripple, the company. Ripple is not a publicly traded company, but accredited investors actually can purchase the company itself. You actually can on secondary markets. But there's high barriers to entry for that. I think that the barriers to entry are you have to be making at least $250,000 per year. I believe that's it. Or you have to have a net worth of over $1 million. So most people wouldn't even qualify to do this. And that's the way the government looks at it, is apparently having a bunch of money, that means that you're a sophisticated investor. And anybody else that doesn't meet that criteria, you're not sophisticated, and you're too stupid to determine whether or not you should be purchasing Ripple, the company. That's basically the stance that the government has, which is a big part of why the SEC exists. So that's outside the scope of this conversation. I just thought I'd mention it, right? Well, either you like that or you don't. But anyway, so the valuation for the company, $2 to $3 billion, as Mike Novogratz cites there. And then he says the XRP on their balance sheet is worth approximately $70 billion. One price seems wrong. If XRP price is saying settlement is coming, the equity is crazy cheap. If not, the token seems expensive. Thoughts? ? Oh, yes, I do have thoughts on this, and I'd like to share them with you. So, because he's speculating here that the price of XRP indicates that people think that that there's going to be settlement. Please, again, refer back to what I said a few minutes ago in this video, which is that the news is not what's leading the price action, and I'm surprised to see something like this from Mike Novogratz to some degree. I don't like Mike Novogratz, so it's not about him personally. It's just I'm kind of surprised that somebody in his position wouldn't just go to what is clearly fundamentally true for the entire asset class, which is that Everything follows Bitcoin in a general sense, not down to the second, the day, the week, the month, the quarter, whatever, but it does. And that's all that's happening here. And so before all of the positive developments, we already saw the charts indicating that this was likely to occur. Then it occurred. There happened to be good positive news that lined up with it. And here we are. And so now you got Mike Novogratz asking this question here. So throw it out. So if it's not the news, then what the hell is going on here? Because look, so price is up, settlements incoming. So then why is Ripple only worth $2 to $3 billion? Why not more? Well, it could be the case that Ripple the company is undervalued, regardless of what's happening with the price of XRP. That could be the case. But as far as their XRP, Ripple's holdings being worth $70 billion, you guys also need to understand this, and this is factored in when coming to evaluation for the company itself. When you've got somebody that's tasked with determining what the valuation should be for a privately held company, especially if they're about to go public, which, I don't know how imminent it is with all this nonsense going on, but I wouldn't be surprised in the next year or two or three, whatever, Ripple does go public. You have to figure out what the company's worth. And with it holding $70 billion worth of XRP, we could be asking, well, why isn't the company then worth $70 billion? Well, you got to figure out what the notional value of XRP is, because the truth of the matter is, even if the XRP they held weren't in escrow, and it is, but even if the XRP that they held weren't in escrow, even if they were trying to sell all of it, they would tank the price, and very quickly. And what would happen? So then the price is driven down. So the amount of United States dollars that they could realize is not even close to $70 billion, because as they start selling huge amounts, it would absolutely devastate the price. To what degree, I don't know. We can only theorize, but it would be bad. And they're not going to do it. That wouldn't benefit them, obviously, so they're not going to do it. I'm not fearful of that. And also, again, their XRP's in escrow, so they functionally can't today anyway. But even if it were out and they could magically sell all of it, no. You'd absolutely squash the price of XRP, and so that's factored in when considering what the price of XRP is. So that tells me that whoever did this appraisal here, they're thinking that even if Ripple tried to sell their XRP, their $70 billion worth, or maybe when they did the $2 to $3 billion, maybe it was worth a lot less than $70 billion. But whatever it would have been at the time. Well, that just indicates that whoever did that appraisal thinks that you really wouldn't get much at all for that XRP, because you just ruined the price, and nobody would be willing to pay what it is worth today. That's what that is. So that's the true reason here. So then again, he said, if XRP price is saying settlement is coming, the equity is crazy cheap. If not, the token seems expensive. Well, again, this is just pure speculation here. The token being expensive, this was going to happen regardless. This is my firm opinion. I've been talking about this before this rally. I've been saying this too. This was going to happen either way. Okay, I didn't know when, but I've been saying for the longest damn time that XRP would rally. I just don't know when, and it would not be based on fundamentals. It wouldn't be based on the news. It's just going to happen because there are enough people that clearly want to support it. It's held support, bounced off of 17 cents at its most recent low several months ago, and then it started trending upwards again after the scary SEC news broke. And so I saw that, and I was like, okay, well, that's what the market has decided. And so at some point, there will be enough money that comes in slowly over time after it consolidates, maybe trades up a little baby boo bit because you're getting slightly higher lows. And then a spark's going to ignite, and then it's going to take off. That's what I've been saying forever. Well, that's what happened. And it's not done, and there are going to be retracements. It's going to go back down, too. At some point, maybe it'll even go back under $1. I don't know. Maybe it won't. But I'm not ruling any of that out, is what I'm saying here. But I just feel like people are overcomplicating this stuff. So it's worth whatever people are willing to pay for it. And the truth of the matter is, people in the world of crypto right now don't know which cryptocurrencies are going to have true staying power, which coins are going to be here for the long haul. It's just not evident enough at this point. And now, look, I'm pro XRP, and I'm excited about it because of its fundamentals. I do, and I recognize that the average person doesn't care about that right now and speculating got it, but I'm excited about the fundamentals because that to me represents a possibility for long-term viability. But even I recognize that I don't know for sure that means if XRP is going to take hold in some sort of global, meaningful way for decades or hundreds of years as a result of what's happening right now. I don't know that. There's no way I can know that. I'm just saying I'm voting that I think that's possible. I certainly hope that ends up being the case here. But people in a general sense are just voting on the asset class. So just because XRP ran up, let's understand it's not doing anything different than any other coin. The whole market moves together. We don't need to look at XRP and say, okay, but what about this one? What about this one? Why is this one being driven? No. Just look at Bitcoin, and that's what the rest of the market's going to do. That's it. We can argue about to what degree, but it's the whole market moving in tandem. And so I feel strongly about that. Maybe some of you disagree, but that's where I am. I felt like that for quite some time here, and I've seen enough developments, and I've seen all sorts of awesome news do nothing to the price action of XRP. But then I've seen and let's say so and so is about to happen, and then that happens, and then I see then when there's big action, then it's in the news, and then people just in the crypto media attribute that to the price action up or down to whatever happened in the news at that period of time. And I'm just like, guys, do you not see what you're doing here? This is stupid. Quit blaming the news. It's just human psychology. That's it. Okay. I firmly mean that. It is very rare, and it can happen, but it is very rare for fundamentals to be the primary driver of notable price action. It can happen, but it's just exceedingly rare. So let me know what you think, but I'll go ahead and wrap up there. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because if anything I say are right, that would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lampo.